Let's take some of that tech that you've learned and turn it into dance. Drex here from DrexFactor.com, coming at you with a brand new combo for the month of May. And this one, by popular demand, is an intermediate Poi combo. I know that this combo looks pretty techy, but the point here is actually to get you moving with the tech, to add a little bit of dance, because, well, that's something that I've been doing a lot in my own style lately. To learn this month's combo, you're gonna need the following tricks under your belt. Number 1, isolations. Number 2, linear isolations. Number 3, body tracing hybrid. Number 4, pendulum versus triquetra. Number 5, horizontal stacking. And number 6, spiral wraps. Now, you can find a playlist of videos of tutorials I've done on all of these tricks down in the description of this video, or up in the cards if you happen to be watching this video on YouTube. I'm going to show you the combo at full speed and then break it down step by step before showing it to you again in slow motion. Make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you know exactly when I'm dropping a new video. Before we dive in, I just want to take a moment to give a shout out to the friends of the channel. Big thanks to Dark Monk, Emazing Lights, Flow Toys, Spinballs, Spinsconsin, and Ultrapoi for helping to make the videos on this channel possible. You can visit them all by following the links down in the description of this video. So this combo is not terribly long, but it is pretty intricate, so let's go through it piece by piece here. We're going to start off by just doing isolations in wall plane, yeah? The poi are in split time, same direction. Now, my legs are going to do something kind of different in that my left foot is going to kind of sneak its way up my right leg, and I'm going to wind up in what yoga folks would call tree pose, right? Now, in the dance world, we would think of this as starting in coupe with my left foot touching my right ankle, and then sliding up to passe with my left foot touching my right knee. Now to break out of this, we're going to go into our linear isolations. Bear in mind, you're doing the isolations the entire time that your left leg is creeping up your right leg. Now our first move here is that the right hand poi is going to pop up and then it's going to go out to the side, right? Now when it pops up, I'm going to snap that left foot out as though it's on a hinge, right? The key here is that whatever level you've got your right knee at is basically the level it stays at. So when my left leg goes out, it's really just extending the leg. I'm not lowering my knee at all, yeah? Once I get the leg out and back, I can step out and across when I do the linear isolation straight out to the side. So that whole opening looks like this. Left leg creeps up, pops out, back, out to the side, yeah? Cool, so we're open, our arms are out to the sides, and we have our feet planted about shoulders width across, right? Now, I'm gonna bring my right hand over to meet my left hand, and it's gonna start what's gonna feel like a reverse weave. I'm gonna do something kind of tricky, and I'll show you some slow-mo footage of this jump so you can get a good idea of what it is. So this is something called a tour jete. Basically, the idea is that I'm gonna kick out my right foot to my left side with enough force that it's gonna pick my entire body up and start it moving through the air. I'm gonna continue that jump by having my left leg kick back, almost like a donkey kick, right? I'm gonna land first on my right foot and then on my left foot. And of course, the poi are spinning the entire time. So what are the poi doing as I'm up in midair? So glad you asked. Essentially what's happening here is I'm just doing a basic turn and waist strap with my poi. Literally, I'm just turning all the way around to the left. Now, what makes this look so cool is that I'm not just keeping my hands at the same level the entire way through. As soon as I get my right hand over to meet my left hand, I'm going to raise both of them up and essentially do a fountain over and around back to my right hand side. It just so happens to be that I'm jumping as I do that. Okay, so we did the jump, it was beautiful, and now we're back to our forwards weave, right? We're going to get out of our forwards weave and drop into a pendulum versus triquetra. Here's how that happens. You're going to once again try and waist strap across your body to get to that reverse weave, but you're not going to get all the way there. There's that point where you're like halfway to the reverse weave and your hands kind of separate for a second, right? And what you're going to do there is you're actually just going to let your right hand poi simply drop into that triquetra, yeah? Meanwhile, the left-hand poi does exactly the same thing. You're essentially just like stopping in the middle of the weave and letting both of the poi fall in order to get into that pendulum versus triquetra. Cool, so from here we're gonna do something kind of tricky, and that's that when the poi are over here at my left-hand side, we're looking for this moment where we have both of the poi kind of pointed straight out to either side. It happens right there, yeah? This is your opportunity to switch into that horizontal stack, specifically the mel. So right over here, I'm gonna really quickly pull my right-hand poi out and around to do a top stall over on the right-hand side of my body. It's a really fast move, but that's what gets you into the horizontal stack. Okay, so we're gonna wind up doing 2 of these stacks. Basically, I'm gonna go from left to right once, and then from left to right a second time. And here's where things get kind of crazy. Okay, so now that I'm over here, I'm gonna do something kind of crazy that feels a little bit like a stall chaser, but it's not. So normally if we were gonna do a stall chaser, we would be carrying over our heads to the other side of the body and leaving a hand over on its native side of the body, right? What's gonna happen in this case is that we're gonna have both hands kind of chasing each other around in a circle, yeah? And they kind of catch up with each other at the top and drag each other along for a second. So you wanna think of it as being that hands meet, poi meet, hands meet, poi meet, hands meet, poi meet. And I'm keeping this like really over onto the right-hand side of my body, which you can do this across your entire body if you want to. That is totally a thing that can happen. And this is actually a version of the stall chaser that I've seen more than a few people do. And literally all it is that rather than stalling out and stopping your hand to one side or another, you just let them keep on going. Okay, so if that's not confusing enough, then the next thing that's gonna happen is we're gonna wait for the second time around when it's our hands together rather than our poi heads together, and boom, we're just gonna drop into a pendulum for a second and let both our hands and our poi head down towards the floor, cross, and then immediately come back up, yeah? Okay, so we're gonna take these pendulums and let our hands and poi both drop down, and then we're gonna pick our body back up as the 2 poi spin out to their native sides. And that's our cue to go back into the body tracing hybrid. That is, we're gonna take that as kind of a prompt to go back into split time same direction. In much the same way that we took our weave and let the poi kind of stop for a moment to get into our pendulum versus triquetra hybrid, we're also going to take this moment when the 2 poi are out to the sides to re-engage in split time same direction. Now the combo just finishes off after that body tracing hybrid with a simple spiral wrap. Yeah? Cool. All right, let's go through all that again. So we start off with an isolation. Our left foot picks up from coupe to passe, and boom, out, out. We go around in that tour jete and we drop into pendulum versus triquetra. We go around twice, we switch into the horizontal stack, and our second time through, we do that weird chasey thing. Boom, we drop into pendulums, come out of it into a body tracing hybrid, and finish off with a spiral wrap. Cool, let's see that all again in slow motion. You dig this combo? Show me your version of it on Instagram by posting video with the hashtag DrexFactorPoi. I can't wait to see your version of this. If you'd like to learn more about both pendulums and hybrids, you should check out my Beyond the Basics course, available on my learning site. You can find that at learn.drexfactor.com. It covers everything from hybrids to behind the back and so much more. Before I turn you guys loose, I just want to say a quick thanks to all of my awesome supporters on Patreon. Your support is what keeps this channel and the videos on it alive. Thank you. Finally, if you like this video and you want to see more like it, please hit the subscribe button by clicking up here. Over here we have a few videos that you may enjoy, including a playlist of videos that are just like the one that you just watched. Finally, if you'd like to support the work that I do, I have a Patreon available by clicking down here. Thank you so much in advance, and peace.